Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Daryl Tollison, and today we're diving into something that I think every RVer should make a part of their routine, and that's the pre-trip inspection. Whether you're heading out just for a weekend getaway or taking a long journey, taking the time to check our rigs can really make the difference between a smooth ride and a stressful situation out on the road. So before we hit the highway, let's walk through some key steps to ensure our home on wheels is road ready. After all, when RVing and enjoying the RVing lifestyle, safety and preparation are everything. Hey, if you enjoyed this content, we hope you'll smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you won't miss the next video. Also, follow along on the Tollison Life Facebook page where we can interact with you more often than just this once a week video. Now, let's get to the pre-trip inspection. All right, so we're about a week out from the trip now, and I'm arriving here at the storage facility. Very fortunately, we actually are able to keep our coach under a cover, so it keeps it out of the weather, out of the sun, and helps protect it a little bit. So let me show you our process now that we're here at the coach. So one of the first things I do when I get here to the coach is just turn on the batteries, flip on the battery switch and the inverter switch. Let me show you, that's right here. All right, now it's got that turned on. Okay, and since I'm right here beside my AquaHot system, I'm going to do a quick visual inspection of it to make sure that my levels are where they're supposed to be, and they are, so they're good to go, but I always check that before I leave. Next, I just come and turn the power on. This particular RV storage has power, so go and get everything fired up on the inside too as well. So let me just flip the power on here. All right. Wait for my bulldog. Yeah, okay, just heard the click, so we're good to go there. I want to turn on the chassis battery so I can start the engine. Chassis batteries are located here inside of this compartment. Flip that on right there. What I do now is, since I'm already back here in the back, is I just want to take a look inside the engine compartment before I fire it up. Now, this coach never stays longer than a week or two without me checking on it, and rarely even sits here because we do travel, still, travel quite a bit. So I just look for anything that really would catch my eye of a problem, including checking the belts. I always double check the belts. In just a moment, we're going to crank it up, make sure there's no issues while it's running. All right, so everything is looking good here. And I'll tell you something else you might want to look for is nests. Sometimes if you leave your coach sitting around too long, you can have animals that actually build a nest up in your engine compartment. So everything's looking good so far. Now let's go inside and make sure everything is looking right, sounding right, since we got full power to the coach. All right, come inside and raise some of the shades. And again, just want to make sure everything looks right, sounds right. Just do a quick inspection inside. Primarily what I'm looking for is I come in here and check my batteries. You can see that we're plugged up to 30 amp here. Everything's okay. Batteries are charging, so we're good there. All right, everything looks good here. Let me turn on the inverter. Right, so everything is looking good, sounding good. No strange noises or anything. And that's typically how it is for us. I just always double check. So again, I do all of this about a week before because, if there are any issues, it'll give us time to maybe correct those issues and won't delay our departure. So let me just show you here what I'm gonna do now. Let's just start it up. Waiting for all the systems to come on. All right, so we're firing it up now. Oil pressure's coming up. Everything's in the green, right? That's what you want to see. Oil pressure's looking good. Temperature, of course, is fine. The air tanks over here are full. Looking good. And all I'm looking for here is any warning lights or anything that would cause me any concern about the rig. There's so many systems on this coach, and they got lights for everything. So I love seeing this right here when everything is really looking good. Like what I'm seeing here. Take a look at all the cameras. Here's my camera. Here's another one. I always keep both of these basically on cameras. Like what I'm seeing. Next, I'll come in and just actually program my GPS so I know where I'm going there. So the day of departure, I don't have to worry about that. Okay, now that everything is operating as it should be on the inside of the coach, I want to go out and do one more inspection at the engine compartment while it's running. Now, I'm no diesel mechanic, so I'm just looking for anything, you know, again, that's very obvious even to a layman. So let's do that. And then what I like to do is actually look up underneath as well to make sure that there's nothing going on underneath here that I need to be aware of. All right, no leaks there. Okay, so everything is looking good inside and outside so far. What I'm gonna do now is just check all the fluids, and then we're gonna check the air pressure and do a tire inspection as well to make sure all that's squared away. And again, the reason I do this early is because, you know, let's say there's something wrong with the tire. I can go ahead and get that repaired and it won't delay our departure for our trip. So that's why I do all of this at least a week out. Now again, if you're full timing, you know, you're doing this all the time, right? So that's the difference between full timing and then any timing. So all right, let's go back and check the fluids now. All right, so all I'm gonna do now is just check the oil. Okay, the oil looks good. I'll check the transmission a little bit later on the dash itself. There's a control up there. I can check the transmission fluid on that. And then I'll just check my power steering fluid. Again, don't see any leaks, so we should be good to go there. I'm gonna look at the code. You see right there on the code, it's still plenty. The level is good there, so we're good to go there. Now I'm going to check the air pressure in my tires. These are Michelin, and according to Michelin's website and according to the weight of my front axle, I should be running 115 pounds in these 315s. Now the best way, of course, to get the absolute best air pressure is to weigh each wheel, not just the axle, but all I've ever done is just, you know, weigh the axle. So according to my axle weight, 115 here, and I'm going to show you typically what I do. I would get my air gauge, and this old air gauge here has been very reliable, and I'm looking for 115 pounds here, and you see 115 and a half. It's a little warm today. And then I get my tire pressure monitoring system and check that. You see this, it shows that this wheel here is at 113. The left wheel is at 112. Well, because I know this equipment, it always reads 113 over here and 112 on the other side when these are at 115. I hope that makes sense to you, but that's the important thing about knowing your equipment. And same way on the rear tires, I'm supposed to run 95 back there, and you'll see it's showing 94 on the rear tires, so that's close enough, right? That's pretty close. And we're back to 113 on the front right, and then 112. But again, I know this equipment, and it always reads a couple pounds short of what I have in there. So as long as I know that, I'm good to go. Now let's do the tire inspection. The camera work on this is going to be a little shoddy, but typically what I do is just get my flashlight and look at the tires as best I can with the camera here. I go all the way through the tire, and again, I just do my best to come in here. Look at that right there. That's, wow. Look at that, guys. See what I just found? I'll take another look at that on the video, but that looks like it could be a little concerning. But again, this is why you want to do this kind of inspection on your wheels and tires. Yeah. That's how I do all 6 tires. Just get a flashlight and go over and look. and head off any problems. I'm going to be checking on this front one right here too, because that caused me a little bit of concern what I just saw. All right, there's only a couple other things that I do that I want to share with you on the pre-trip inspection, and that is I'm going to check the generator, check my wipers, which I'm actually going to replace because it's time, and check the windshield washer fluid, and we'll just about be done at that point. So let's knock those out. Now to check my generator, I just open this compartment here and pull this latch right there, and that releases the generator area. Now you can start this from the inside, but I'm just going to actually start it from the outside here. Let me get it all the way open. Let me check my oil right quick. Right here's my oil stick. That's where you fill it up at. And let me wipe this off a couple of times here, and the oil is looking good there. Plenty of oil. Then also check my fluid. You see that fluid level looks a little low there, but when you look right here, it's actually right there in the middle between minimum and max. So we're good to go with the fluid. Now we're just going to fire it up, make sure she works. Let me put this back on. And again, you can start it on the inside, but today I'm just going to start it out here. Preheat. So I had it serviced at 310 hours. It's got 350 on it now, which is only 40 hours. But you see I'm coming up on the annual, so I'll be servicing this pretty soon. And the one thing you can do with when you're checking the generator, of course, I want to go inside and confirm that the transfer switch worked and that the generator is actually powering the coach. So that's something I would do off camera. One of the final steps here is that this is my windshield washer fluid, and you can see it's about half full. So I'm going to go ahead and top that off. All right, that should last us a little while. I just used some good old Rain-X all season, nothing fancy. Good to go. I'm going to close it up. All right, next I'm just going to change out the wipers. These wipers are actually 2 years old, but they've done me a very good job. The kind that I use, you know, and they work great. I'll put a link down below, but it's this Trico RV recreational vehicle size. It's 30, these are 36 inches, but I'll put all that information down below. So I'm just going to change these out real quick. And to change these wipers on the Allegro bus, 2020 Allegro bus, this is a 10mm bolt. I hope it's focusing in okay. And that is a 13mm. So I'm going to get 2 wrenches there and take this off and then just insert the new one back on. So all I'm going to do now is just insert this piece over this, and then we just insert it right back into the wiper blade slot there. Really easy. Okay, and the final thing I'm going to do on my pre-trip inspection is just check the lights. Well guys, that's going to do it for the way I do a pre-trip inspection for a Class A motorhome. Let's face it, there's 100 different things you can check, but I try to focus on those issues that can prevent me from being on the side of the road and that would impede our journey, right? So I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, make sure you smash that like button, and we hope to see you in the next video. In fact, click on one of those on the screen, and we'll see you there. Until next time, be well and stay safe.